Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about Zoom F2 field recorder. So let's dive right into it. Well, what we are talking about? We are talking about a field recorder, but be mindful, this is a pocket recorder. So basically it's a very tiny thing. To give you a size context, think of it this way. We all have used what we call wireless lavalier mic packs. It's similar size. Actually, it's kind of smaller than that, specifically if you have older Sennheisers and all that jazz. So it's a recorder. It's going to record your audio directly. It will not going to transmit. Now you may be like, why should I want to invest in this rather than like using a wireless system? Well, wireless systems are susceptible to many things, one of which is interference. Now it's not an issue if you live out of middle of nowhere, but many places they have a lot of electrical noise. Specifically if a lot of people are utilizing it, all of them will have issues. So many times you just want a dedicated recorder. It's like, dude, just record. And you do not want to be like, hey, I had somebody turn off a microwave and randomly your audio started to go bonkers. You don't want that. So for many places people want that absolute reliability. It's like, bro, a pocket recorder. I don't have time to dealing with audio quality drops and all that jazz. Now it runs a lavalier microphone and it is specifically designed to also provide phantom power. So if you utilize much higher quality lavalier microphone, which is like 2 times or 3 times the price of this device, it can still power it properly. So that's good. And even though this is a kind of pocket recorder, you're supposed to put it on your talent and hide the puppy. If you desire, you can also put headphones there and monitor yourself directly without any issue. So that's an awesome touch, so to say. And this is priced around $200 in US department, and it should be around 20,000 rupees in India. Actually less than that, but again I have tax 30%. It's not thoroughly launched yet, so to say. Now why the heck you want to consider this? Well, that primary aspect of it having a absolute certainty that audio is recorded, that's okay, but that's not good enough. But this has something unique. It is 32-bit recorder, what is specifically called 32-bit float recorder. Now this is the first time Zoom F6 had this. The Zoom F6 that was launched very recently had this for the first time. Now you have to understand it, audio industry kind of stagnant. Like you can get very good audio recordings from like 1970. We did not have too much wow factor. It's just like more convenience. But a major change happened is like somebody realized we can have two audio amplifiers, because like microphone, let's say microphone has a range of 0 to 100. Your amplifier only has the range of 0 to 50, let's say. So somebody came up with the idea, what if we add two amplifiers, one specifically for low, one specifically for high. So if the low one basically clips, it goes into high, basically it overflows into high, so high can retain the data. Okay, so now by adding these two, you have a recording capacity of 100. Now generally most of the time we record audio in what we call 24-bit system. That's good, but it is designed in such a way where it's like very good for high load noises. Basically if you're around -6, it's awesome. But if you are like really quiet down, like -18 or something like that, it's really does not work that well. Like the texture disappears. You can pull it up in post-production, but it will not have the same richness. It will feel like a bit teeny, like people who deal with audio, they can explain you much better. But problem is 24-bit is not good enough to handle this whole dynamic range. So 32-bit. Now 32-bit is here's the interesting part. Almost all audio editors has the ability to handle 32-bit files from long ago. So basically the hardware was lagging behind. The software was like, dude, we already got this. It's not like a raw file. It's like, dude, we already had it years ago. So that's awesome. And you cannot clip this baby up at this point in time. So you can go from whisper quiet to yelling to screaming, and it will always keep recording as long as your microphone can physically record it, because microphone has a clipping limit where absolute sound pressure, if it reaches a certain point, depending on design, depending on geometry, if it reaches that, it will simply not vibrate anymore. Either it will get damaged or most likely it will get damaged at those high pressures, but you get the point. So you don't have to set the gain, because microphone has a range and this recorder has much wider range than the microphone itself. So your microphone is the limiting factor, and most of the time the reason why we adjust gain is just to fine tune it. You don't have to do that. You plug your microphone. If the person is whispering, it's gonna record. If person is gonna speaking normally, it's gonna record. If person is screaming loudly, it's still gonna record without clipping. That's the whole point. It's awesome. Basically plug and forget. You don't have to think about it. And that's why when Zoom F6 was released, it did not add any gain knobs. People are like, why the heck you have fader knobs, not gain knobs? It's like, you don't need it anymore. So that's amazing. And that's the whole point. That's why this recorder alone, many times you may be like, hey, why should not I buy, let's say, a Rode Go wireless. You may be like, okay, awesome, Rode Go wireless, convenience, awesomeness factors and all that jazz. This has 32-bit recording. So basically you can give this microphone to anyone and they can go you don't have to, hey, speak within this range or tonality. No, go YOLO, man, go YOLO. We can fix it in post. So that's a very serious advantage, very serious priceless advantage. So for those reasons alone, people are like, dude, shut up and take my money. And I had this really hateful relationship with Zoom simply because I have their product Zoom H1N, and this was a very recent device. This is a successor to Zoom H1. Now H1, like very old equipment. Why the heck this new equipment has limit of 32 GB SD cards? It's like, dude, we live in 2020, like not even 20, by 2015 you could have easily bought like 256 GB SD cards. I can't put it to that, like it will simply not read. It's like, why? And like you may like, yeah, audio files, I keep barely get 12 hours of recording, and I do 2 day. So I do want this SD card to act as my emergency backup. I can't. So that's a very weird limitation, not having large SD cards. So thankfully they listened, a lot of complaints about that, and this goes up to basically 512 GB, which you can buy right now. And not to mention 32-bit fold size are huge. So you want a huge card. So that alone is more than good enough reason why people will buy this over any other wireless system. You never have to worry about dropouts. You never have to worry about clipping audio. Done deal. Alone, just for that, people are like, dude, shut up and take my money. Now, this is the first time for Zoom to provide this kind of advanced technology in such a small package. So there is a lot of growing pain where it's like, dude, what are you trying to do? Like as a company product manager, you're like, dude, what are you trying to do, or what are you smoking? So why the heck Bluetooth is optional? It's like they designed the Bluetooth, I'm reasonably sure, because you always add features and then you remove it for making a cheaper version. So Bluetooth was designed, and it's like because they decided to remove it, it's no longer well integrated in either model. So you have a Bluetooth free model and you have Bluetooth model. So it's like, why? Just have Bluetooth or don't have it. Like if you don't have it, like you simplify your production line, product cost goes down, because this is an expensive puppy. For a recorder, people are like, dude, why you're charging so much for a recorder? And it's not like it has screen, LCDs, and like, why are you charging? So that Bluetooth is a kind of very frustrating, because one thing you have to understand is that people don't want to deal with syncing issue. The only way to bypass syncing issue is having timecode. How the heck you can have timecode? Utilize Bluetooth. This puppy, if you buy the Bluetooth model, it can receive timecode signal if it is being transmitted over Bluetooth. So if they had thought of that thoroughly, it's like, okay, let's make sure Bluetooth is the default. Like it's not an optional. You just, if you buy F2, you have Bluetooth. So that would have been more awesome, but for some reason it's not, because timecode is compulsory if you deal with multi-setup. If you have one camera, one microphone, and does not matter, fixed setup does not matter. In a wedding, you need to have timecode, simply because if you have multiple people and your camera is moving, your distance will change. So audio syncing most of the time will fail. Another time it will simply not sync correctly, because again, there is audio travels slower than light. So you will have fundamental issues. So that's why it's like, why Bluetooth is optional. Another aspect, why the heck to this day you don't give rechargeable battery? And like people are like, oh, like, you know, audio devices, we use it for 70. These devices will not last 70 years. This device will barely last 2 to 3 years, 4 or 5 maximum. And again, batteries are replaceable. So they could have easily given, here's a lithium ion battery system, you're gonna replace it once it wears out, no problem, awesome. Or you could have done something even simpler. It's like it has nickel support for rechargeable batteries. Charge that over USB-C. And you can buy that. Like it's not an advanced technology to take 5 volt and drop it down to 3 volt and to charge a rechargeable battery. You can buy them from Amazon like for a few dollars. So why the heck you don't have rechargeable? Like that makes it much more difficult to use. It's like these batteries, if you especially buy from outside, where you have like, let's say, end loop battery and charger for that, it will pile up. The money will pile up. And because I'm utilizing this on this puppy, I know for a fact that they will wear out in around 1 year. So, and I know for a fact that lithium ion can easily last for 2 years. Quality lithium ion, much longer than that. So that's really frustrating. It's like, if they had that, then you were like, okay, I just have to buy basically every 1 year you will buy a new set of battery. Right now you have to buy a battery and charger and deal with the inconvenience that you have to pull it out, remove it, and because there is no battery level indicator, you do not know how long it will last. So fundamentally frustrating to deal with. And it feels a bit overpriced, because everybody who has the hands-on experience, they're like, dude, it feels cheap. And not to mention you have to open it up, open and close every day. It's like, why? So Gerald has provided an awesome video. I have provided the video link down below. So there is a lot of growing pain with this. It's like, does not make sense what they were trying to do. Now, the reason why I'm calling it simply overpriced is because there is good competition, and competition is always awesome for customer. Now, track E from Tentacle Sync. Now Tentacle Sync is a small company. They started out as making a timecode generator for hybrid shooters or basically amateur videographers, low budget basically, and they exploded. Basically they went boom. Every Tom, Dick and Harry wants this puppy, simply because think of this way: if you want to take care of a debate, let's say, and you have 4 people on a stage, and you have A cam from side A, B cam from side B, and a camera arm, all 3 cameras, and if you have to sync that, good luck with that. And the sole reason why TV industry can do that is because they have timecode sync in all of them. All of them are cabled in. So how the heck a low budget person will do that? Well, old answer was good luck with that. Now the answer is buy a Tentacle Sync. Sync them one another, and they will remain there. They will keep their time because they have actual clock circuit inside. They will keep their time much more accurately than any silicon based system. This has actual crystal inside, so the oscillators are much more awesome. And you can sync 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 camera, and also sync with audio recorder. So if you have a, let's say, field recorder recording audio, you have multiple cameras recording video, all of them done awesome. So it exploded, it became very successful. So they're like, what if we add 32-bit recorder in that also? So tada, they added that. So timecode sync is not an issue, it's a default. And even if you don't buy the receiver, you can buy it later date. And you may be like, can't I do that with basically Zoom? Here's the deal, you're not buying a Zoom product if you do that. You have to buy someone else's Bluetooth timecode transmitter. Here is the same brand, and everything, you always want to have as fewer brand as possible. Everything works, because the more brands you have, the more handshake issue happens and more hoo-ha happens. You just want everything to be like, okay, this brand, do deal with it. I don't want to deal with extra hoo-ha. So that's awesome. And it has a rechargeable battery, so far more practical. Yes, it's a bit more expensive, but given the fact that it has much better compatibility with video shooters, people will like, yeah, I'll pay a little bit more for this. So it's much better, and I'll just pay for the rechargeable batteries. Like, I don't want to deal with another Zoom H1. Just give me rechargeable system. So there is a good competition, and it's really good for basically low budget shooter. Now you may be like, $200, that's a lot of money and all that jazz. Here's the deal, it's like, if you look at a proper Sennheiser microphone that is used in movies and all that, those are like thousands of dollars. It's like some of them are priced equivalent of a Rolex. So fundamentally, you have to know the context of it. In context, these are quite low budget, so to say, and they are very awesome nowadays. Like, you can do a lot things that people could not have even thought of. Like in if you said anybody in 1990s or early 2000s, like, yeah, we're gonna have time code on a wireless system, they're like, what are you smoking, man? So it's a really good time for a videographer right now. So this was my presentation on Zoom F2 recorder. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.